Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Chill podcast with Dustin and Alex. And today's special guest is Wesley Hubbard, otherwise known as Wooden Cyclops. Uh,
Hello.
yeah, he's done really great art on Instagram for a while now, I think. And I've always enjoyed seeing it. And he's done art for Portugal the Man and Weird Al Yankovic, and I'm sure many other cool people. What other cool people have you made art for?
um, I've done a bunch of commission stuff all across the board. I think the last couple things I was pretty stoked on. I did a guitar pedal for Cattle and Bread, which phenomenal fuzz pedals and all kinds of other stuff. I did a skateboard for Grandma Skateboards real recently. And that was quite a bit of fun. I love doing anything skateboard related. I mean, that's where I don't know. That's kind of where I birthed from, you know. And then I got a chance to do a Garbage Pail Kid with Beyond the Streets and Tops.
Oh, cool.
Of Beastie Boy. I got to pick. That was pretty cool.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice. And it's like coming out, or
Yeah, I think they're in production now, but I think there was only 2 days to put an order in for them, so they're super an edition. But yeah, I'm stoked to get a box of those. That's like
That's great.
yeah,
but like Garbage Pail Kids, man.
yeah. I love those. They're like stuck all over my room when I was young, for
Yeah,
sure.
I still have them stuck on shit I
Yeah,
drank. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm getting my kids their own collections and
Oh, cool.
Nice.
yeah,
So
fun.
the card you did, is it part of like a new set of like a pack of cards with other artists too, or was it just sort of
Yeah, artist series thing. So myself and then like I think it's like 20 or 30 other artists pick
Oh,
which
cool.
one they wanted to remake and then did their version of uh, of the card they like, and then they packed them up and I guess they're going to be coming in a box. So yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Cool. And you said you designed a pedal, and that sort of leads me to one of my questions. Like, uh, you play music? Like, I know I saw on like a high fructose profile that they did on you that you played piano for Portugal the Man, and I wonder like what other music you do. Like, did you do the music for your Draw with Wes series or?
Yeah, I let me tell you this first. I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I am no musician. I love to play
No.
music though, and have a guitar
Yeah.
and a piano set up at all times to bang on. And I like to write stuff. Um, so yeah, all the music on Draw with Wes, okay. I did, just like a little garage band sit down.
Nice.
And then yeah, I was in a band after Portugal, because I played keyboards with them. And then I left and came back to Portland to go back to school or whatever. And another thing I'm terrible at and won't ever be good at. But I was in a band that I wrote a lot of songs for and played acoustic guitar and harmonica for, kind of like pretty like Captain Beefhearty
Oh,
inspired
nice.
stuff. But I came to a point where I was like, I kind of had to artistically, I needed to funnel myself one way or another. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm like, I want to play music, but I gotta draw. So I guess I just picked the thing that I felt like I had to do. You know.
Mm.
Have you been drawing for pretty much your whole life, or when did you like get into making art?
For as long as I can remember, I've been drawing and just I doodling. My whole school career was just doodling through the. I'm holding the pencil. I'm doodling right now. You know, I'm not. You know, you get a math book. Here's your math book. Look through it, and there's like some shitty drawings all over. That's me. That was me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing that forever. I can't stop drawing.
And like the writing that you do, like is it lyrics? And then I know there was like a really specific like time period on your Instagram when you were doing like these really weird, surreal short stories, and like I really enjoyed that time period. And I personally like doing that kind of thing too, like just throwing someone into this weird sort of like world. I don't know.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I that's another thing I love to do is write. Um, I never delved into it, so you know I can't. You know what I'm feeling, and a lot of that stuff I was doing was based on right, that shit really happened, or
Mm.
that's stuff that I remember, and yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, music wise, I like to write lyrics and the music. Um, I'm not good. I'm
Cool.
not good though. uh, but yeah, fun stuff to
So
do.
about
For sure.
about how long ago was it that you like made that decision to focus more on the visual side rather than music?
Um, it was about when my daughter was born. She's almost 6 now, so um, I before she was born, when she was coming, I knew I kind of needed to. I wouldn't say grow up in the sense that uh, maybe I should figure out how to schedule myself. Get up in the morning. Everyone gets up in the morning and brushes their teeth at a certain time. I like that wasn't for me. So part of me becoming more of a functional human in this society, that was one of the things that I felt I needed to do. It couldn't be um, music one day and then art this day. Trying to get a focus, I guess, was the deal. And I knew that if I wanted to keep on drawing and learning art and doing art, that I needed to buckle down, just get in there. And if I'm, the only way to do it is to try to pull in some money from it to keep on doing it. For me, anyways, it was either pick one of those or pick the construction site or something, which is awesome too. But drawing is what I wanted to do. So still trying. I'm still scraping, um, trying to figure it out. But yeah.
Did you develop any sort of like um maybe not like a schedule, but like a routine or something that you tried to hit every day, even if it wasn't at the same times or whatever?
Uh, I mean, I guess you've been following me for a while, and I don't. There's not much. I try to, but I don't. There's not much like consistency for me. I can't. I kind of need to explore um, these different things, and there's been a real issue with that and trying to schedule that in. And yeah, like I think I say it every day. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go for a run. When I get home at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna get this done and draw this and do that. And that never works out. You know, I just like I was saying,
Yeah.
I get here playing video games, and then I get up to draw. I can't draw right. I can't make myself do it. So when it comes, it comes. So I guess just making the room for it is the schedule now. Like making sure there is a time, even if it's I have to get up in the middle of the night to do it when it strikes, which it does a lot, you know, inconveniently.
Has the pandemic impacted your routine or art making schedule at all, or was it already sort of haphazard enough that you are sort of
It's like I don't know anymore. I mean, what I do, I can't even tell. I don't remember what it was like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it could be for the better, because you know, cut out a few distractions maybe, like, or excuses, I guess. Like, I can't draw right now, so I'm gonna go to the store. I need eggs. Yeah, eggs. I'll go to the store now. But now it's like, well, I shouldn't fucking go to the store if I don't need to. So
fewer excuses to procrastinate. That's fair. That's
yeah, maybe. Like I said, it's. I don't know about you guys, but it's just like, yeah, I guess everything, the fucking space-time continuum snapped. Everything's weird. It's hard
Yeah.
to tell.
yeah.
No,
It
I
doesn't
like
feel
seriously, I feel
January.
like I'm in September. Yeah, I feel like I'm in September. It's
Oh,
insane.
totally. Yeah, man.
You were saying earlier that you don't have like a lot of consistency in your schedule, but there are like in your work there's like some themes that are fairly consistent. Like when did you start doing the is it Doberman Stabber? The
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I love dogs, but obviously they're not Dobermans. But I just thought instead of the Doberman Pinscher, the I also tried to name my tank dog the Sherman Shepherd. You know, Sherman tank.
Yeah.
Really, it didn't really work.
That's great.
Um, yeah, I came up with those a long time ago, and they looked completely different. They were dogs, but they had 4 eyes, and they, you know, it was 3 of them. I usually, yeah, stabbing each other, and the one in the front was stabbing the guy in the back with the longer arm. You know, I don't know. It's been like I've had those around for like 3 or 4 years or something. So, yeah. Yeah, guess about that. But,
Do you find it like meditative at all? Like, I don't know if that's a pretentious question or something, but like, I know that when I draw, like, doing the same thing over and over again, like, you kind of like get an appreciation of like the simplicity, but like also the complexity that goes into it, like how complex something really simple can be. And it's like,
yeah, definitely. By the way, I love your work, and I could see that in your work when I look at it. I'm like, if capture some of the you know, so I can feel you working as I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And it is that meditative thing. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of a comfort for me too to sit down and kind of using less of the thought brain and more just the subconscious. I think that's a needed thing, and sometimes I have to sort of separate that stuff from the what I call the work stuff, I guess, and that's tough because a lot of times I can't help but it intertwine. You know what I mean? And it's hard to find that split where it's like, all right, well, I got a commission, I have to draw this. But I kind of need that consistency to get my brain back in there. So yeah, definitely. I feel that.
Do
Feel that a ton.
you feel a difference between like work stuff and that stuff? Like, I know from like the few commissions that I've had, it's like a different feeling drawing for a commission. Like it's
I'm not gonna go
totally
so far as to say it's a nightmare, but sometimes because you got your passion, and this is your passion, and you get that feeling, you got that relaxed meditative feeling, and then you're thrown into this like, yeah, you have to do that. Or because most people want to feel that in the product you're giving them. They want to feel like they can live they can live behind that meditative process, but to force that is like it's just like you could do it all day until someone asks you to, and it's like, how do I even do it? I don't know. But
So when people commission you for work, are you like doing portraits of their dogs, or is it are they like asking for stuff in your style more, or what kind of work are you doing commission wise?
I mean, I'm kind of all kinds of stuff. Some people do want like they want the dogs because that's like kind of my the signature thing. But a lot of them will go back to some of my earlier stuff, and they want like the more intricate lowbrow approach. So I want to keep on learning and trying new styles out, but it's kind of it's made it tougher for me to focus, to be honest. Like, I love doing it all, but when I'm in one mindset or in one spot in my brain, and then have to shift it so quickly to the other one, it's kind of like a shock. Like I have to grab my attention and be like, okay, right here, which isn't easy to manage. So yeah, it feels a lot different. And so like painting wise, I did I recently did a commission Doberman Stabber, but like if I'm doing more of like if a new pot dispensary opens or something, they want some of my work. Of course, they want the like more lowbrow stuff, so that comes up a lot. And I just did like I don't even know if I'm supposed to say who it's for, but I did an interview recently, and they wanted that stuff. Like, even in the interview, they were like, okay, we want all this like the mega wastoids and all this stuff in our online magazine, and not your newer stuff. And of course, I'm crazy, so I was offended for 5 minutes, and then I was like, yeah, fucking fine. Of course.
But that was like a whole new like mode of like creating for you like 2 years ago or something, right? Like that's what you're talking about, like getting thrown back into that like
Yeah.
style. Yeah, you have to almost
Yeah.
relearn that. Like
Totally. And it is like at that time when I go back there in my mind, I was approaching approaching art from a whole different way. And it's like it was the stuff I love and the stuff I do love, and that's growing up in the 80s with the Garbage Pail Kids and you know, Rat Fink and Mad Magazine, just all over the place. Like it was that, and that's kind of I kind of felt attached to that scene, and I still do. I love that stuff, um, and that kind of still drives me to do it. But it is like the way I'm approaching it now is more like what's who am I? I don't want to say that, but it is more like stuff that's, I guess, more close and specific to me. Um, maybe not on the outside, but inside, or maybe it's the other way. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, switching gears like that. I don't. Maybe it's good for my brain, or maybe it's making me more crazy. I don't know.
Were there like other artists or other influences, like in the way that like your more lowbrow stuff was influenced by like Mad Magazine and Garbage Pail Kids? Was there other stuff that you found that made you like switch to this like a little more polished, cleaner style, or was it more just a personal change? Or
I think it was more of a personal change. Um, I think at first it was more of a personal change because, and I mean, this is a fun podcast. So I don't know how in depth we want to go, but the Dobermans were kind of like a response to depression and how uh, how I was kind of dealing with that, and I kind of felt like I needed to pour some of it on the page instead of putting on this mask kind of behind some of the style that I love. And then since then, I have been like there's our I always loved and this is obvious, everyone does, it's everyone's favorite artist, Ralph Steadman. But you could see a lot of that in to me, he almost bridged some sort of gap for me. And I don't know, I mean, it's his stuff, but it was kind of like the time period, and some of the stuff is super obvious, but it's also like you could see some heart that he poured out there. And but then there's also cleaner stuff that I really love. John Gorley from Portugal the Man, he got me into Cleon Peterson, and I love his stuff. And it's just like,
oh yeah,
that's a real how comfortable can you get with simplicity to be uncomfortable? You know what I mean? It's like you have to look at it because it's like, to me, it's almost like a relaxation from some of the complicated and like hard to look at shit. So it's like you're drawn to it, but then the subject is like fuck. So I really appreciate that, and I guess that's something that I'd like to embody. And some of my stuff that's like that. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I can definitely see that, like Cleon Peterson, at least that like these big kind of like blobs, but really well defined at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to squint, they do. It's just like it could almost, if you were to squint and not make out the figures, or took off your glasses or something, you might
Right.
not be able to. Oh, what it is, and then you put it on. It's like, oh yeah, that's great.
yeah.
And, like,
He did like
shocking.
this big rap on the Denver Museum of Contemporary Art a while ago. That was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to
Yeah, that's
do anything like large scale, like huge building or?
definitely, man. I would love to do something like that. I definitely been looking into it, and hopefully I can get that opportunity uh, at some point. Right now, I feel like I'm not trying to pursue anything that I guess that huge, or something that would take me weeks or whatever.
Yeah, like completely out of everything else.
Yeah, yeah. And I have my kids every other day, so that would be tough.
Mm.
Have our own schedule here, so yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
definitely want to.
I wanted to say like no worries about going into depression or anything. I think that uh, we call it the chill podcast, but the past couple episodes have not really been that chill just because of everything that's going on. And like, and I think as
Well,
artists, we're definitely like sensitive and, you know, we have emotions and like our art being like a reaction to what we're feeling is, I think, totally normal and like just such a important part of the process. Thanks for sharing that. It's like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
amazing to know that.
I guess it relates to, because I mean, through doing this stuff, you can kind of get back to, or kind of see chill, after dumping it out. So yeah, no, yeah, of course, man. Um, that's a that's an interesting. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and it's almost like cliche, but it's so true. Um, and because it's a cliche, it kind of allows us to, as artists, to like talk about it, and I appreciate that about art. And thank you guys.
Yeah.
you know,
Well, thank you. It's yeah, it's nice to like hear from like somebody like you who's been doing it for a long time, and you have like an established following that like yeah, that it's that things like depression and stuff still exist even after years of work and painting. It's
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. I
Like
mean,
I
I'm
liked
sorry, but it's
yeah.
it's great.
I liked your second draw with Wes, like when you're like, okay, let's go over the numbers here, like 90,000 Instagram followers, 4,000 views, 13 likes, and it's like,
Yeah. I mean, I mean, joke,
like doing Instagram
um,
numbers, is it worth it? Like what is it?
yeah, no,
What does it all
and
mean?
I go into a fucking tailspin about it once a week, and
Yeah,
it's that's my goal, is to get off of that thing. Don't tell them I said that, because they'll get me or something.
yeah,
But really, like, that, it is stressful, and
yeah,
and you could, I don't know about you guys, but I I put myself over there and I could watch myself doing it. And I'm like, you're fucking ridiculous. Like, you should not be, just get work, man. Get back to work. You don't need to worry about this. But the way it's set up, it's like, I better fucking worry about it a little bit. And then that turns into way too much real quick, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal, is to get this somewhere else. But it's the only way to do it. And you can see it. I mean, you could feel it everywhere. It's not just art, for sure. It's coming down. If you don't have an Instagram, I mean, you can have a lawn business without an Instagram. You're gonna be killing weeds, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you find, does Instagram generate a lot of like the commissions you get and stuff then, or?
I mean, basically, yeah, 90% comes from, I mean, that's basically how I initially got my name out there, was doing like, you know, I'd hung paintings in bars and stuff before this, but yeah, initially, like, that's how I was getting everything. And you know, it was like a Star Wars challenge, like different Star Wars character every day for 30 days, you know, these challenges. And I feel like that's when I don't even remember who it was that did it, but I feel like that's kind of how I got my momentum, because people saw them and were sharing them and stuff. And back then, when people shared, other people saw it. Not so much anymore, for me anyways. But
It seems like you're trying to generate that a little bit, though, like with your like hashtags and like having people do your drawing challenges and like sharing other people's art and having them submit to your Draw with Wes, and like kind of trying to bring back that old community of like just sharing art, because
I am, man, because I felt like there was more of a sense of community, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was because I was seeing what my artist friends were doing every day. You know, I was like, it was fun. I looked forward to it because I could be like, oh, what are they drawing? What are they drawing? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, oh, that kind of sucks. Oh, this is cool. But now it's like, where the fuck am I? Why am I at grandma's page? Like, joking, I don't follow my grandma. But yeah, I do want to bring that back. And you know, if I can, if someone could see somebody else's stuff, and I love art. I love seeing other people's takes on my stuff. And you know, I don't want it shouldn't art shouldn't be a competition. Everybody makes different stuff. I try to separate that too. So I like with the past few ones, I've attached a prize, but it's like, you make the drawing, you submit it, goes in, then your name goes into a raffle, instead of being like, I'm gonna pick my favorite one.
Yeah,
because they all are, you know.
for sure.
My daughter drew an awesome one. That's my favorite.
That's a good answer. Yeah, you gotta pick your daughters. Do you show her a lot of your art, or is it weird for you, like some of your stuff that is like more linked to like mental health and stuff? Is it odd for you to share that with your daughter, or is it like a nice thing to have?
She's 6 and she's amazing, and I mean, I don't know what I'm sure I'm old as fuck compared to you guys. I don't know how old you guys are, but I don't know. I feel like I am. but when I was growing up, it's like you didn't talk about stuff. You didn't like. I never heard anything anything like that from either of my parents or anybody in my life. And especially something like depression, where it's like I knew something was up with me when I was very young, and because I could see other kids, and it wasn't talked about. And I see a lot of me in her, and maybe it's because I want to. I hope that there's less than I see, because I don't want her to feel that. But if she does, she'll know that I can relate to her, and that's something that I've never felt. And I take anything artistic, even if it's not related to me. If she's asking a question, I'm ready to answer it. I retire. Video games. I play those. The Rick and Morty game. At the beginning of it, there's a little thing that says, do you want this to be kid friendly or not? And I looked at her. I was like, eh. She's like, whatever you think. I'm like, well, I think that the difference between what I can say and you're allowed to say. And I want to tell you something. I don't even believe in good and bad language. And it opens up into this conversation about society and how we're living, and why it's kind of weird why people don't talk about stuff like this. So yeah, that was a long fucking answer to that question, right?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I take any opportunity I can to say some stuff that I would have liked an adult to say to me, if there is any parents out there that I had in my after school programs, this does not apply to them. I did not talk to your children about curse words. But I did work.
A little disclaimer.
Yeah. Did you do like art education in an after school program, or was it totally separate? Oh, cool. I did a few art classes. Actually, recently I did one at a different after school program. Just a couple years ago, I taught a class. But yeah, I miss it a lot. I have 2 kids now, so I don't. I kind of get my share. But their kids are great, man, and that's where the best art comes from, in my opinion. Definitely the most creative stuff.
For sure.
Fewer inhibitions, right? When they're
yeah. My daughter try to take from me. She's just like, you got your tank dog character. My character is a tongue mountain that has a flower coming out of it, and I'm like, fuck you. Like you.
Do you have you ever drawn any of her characters? Like, is that the next series? Are you just gonna plagiarize your dog?
I think the next series will be her just kind of taking reign of my Instagram, and it'll be the Claire show. But yeah, we definitely do some art together.
That's great.
Yeah. Nice.
You as like a parent, and you having done like some art education and stuff, is that sort of what influenced the Draw with Wesley show, or is that unrelated?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember why I did it. The first time I did it, it was not supposed. I think I was just trying to play the Instagram game, and it kind of stressed me out. I'm like, I don't like even doing this with you guys. I've been stressing out for the last couple hours, and I had to keep on telling myself, once I talk to these fellas, it's gonna be fine, and it is. But like doing that, the first Draw with Wes, okay, was kind of like, well, everyone's doing the what's that site? It's just videos and
IGTV.
Oh, like TikTok?
no,
Oh.
the not even Instagram. Something with P. Anyways, you know, people teach classes or whatever. Maybe Skillshare, maybe.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But it wasn't supposed to be funny, and it's not funny. I mean, it's funny to me. But then I got it onto the shitty editing thing, and I was like, this is I just like doing this because it's really stupid, and I can just make myself laugh while I'm editing this.
Yeah, I really enjoy the chipmunk voice. Like,
Yeah,
when you're like going through the instructions and it's just like.
when I was editing, because at first it was supposed to be like, I'm going to show people who care how I do this, how I do it. And then I was editing the last one. I was like, I'm skipping over a lot of the shit that people would want to see if they did want to learn how to draw this, just by not funny to me right now. So yeah, I love that chipmunk too, man. I can't get enough of it.
So
Pretty funny.
how accurate are those clips to your process, aside from like the chipmunk voice? Or is that pretty much like the size you typically work on and stuff?
No. Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess recently. Yeah. I've been doing paintings recently, and the last I did a painting. Yeah. I should have changed the name, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of like, and I sold that painting too. I'm so limited, and like I said, it's like to be able to do this, I have to make some money off of it, which totally sucks. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing that I want to do because it's fun and funny, and I'll sell the painting that I do while, you know, that I'm doing it with. But yeah, I think that is pretty similar to my process, with specific to the thing that's being drawn, I guess. I think if it was more of a natural process, it would be, you know, if I'm trying to escape or something, I always have two paintings going. One of them's one I'm going to sell, and the other one's a release, sort of. So if I were to do it were to be a draw with Wes OK, you know, mental release, it would just be me painting shapes, you know, and mixing colors. So I think that'd be closer to the natural process. But yeah. I guess I'm learning. I'm learning all the time, and I think some of the some of the stuff that I'd like to have on those videos is stuff that I learned, you know, or I valued or something.
That's great. That's I love that they function both as like comedy videos and educational. That's a nice 2-for-1 there.
Yeah, I think I want to lean more that way and make it. I don't know how far you got on the last one, but I did. I asked a couple of my buds that I'd worked with in the past, Zoot Ghost and Russell Taysom, and they made a cartoon a while ago, and I put that in there. You know, and I had a few puppets and stuff. And I'm working with my buddy Joel on the next one, and we're trying to work in more like variety, Pee-wee-esque type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he did the narration on that one, right?
Yeah.
And I like those puppets too. Where did you get them, or did you like make them, or?
Yeah, I made both of the ones that are. Was there two of them?
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You looked
Actually,
into the mouth of the one, and then, yeah, that guy.
you could see him.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit.
I live
he's
in a
chilling.
small apartment. The other one's like on my fuck. I don't know where the other one is. Um, but yeah, I made that one a long time ago just for fun, and then the big cartoon monster you're talking about. Um, uh, an artist I love, Alex Chu, that lives here in Portland, was doing a monster pageant every year, and you basically just make your own monster costume, and then go
Oh,
up on
cool.
stage and dance around and do something. So that's pretty old too, but yeah, I like to keep
Nice.
stuff like that around. I'm making this thing right now. Uh, it's like it's a wood cutout, and I cut out the eye holes on it, and I'm making like a puppet worm, where it's like his tail is coming out one side, and then you put your hand through the other side, and like he's talking, you
Oh
know,
sweet.
like in this guy's
Cool.
face.
That's great.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, time to finish that guy.
Do you do a lot of like 3D art and puppet stuff as well?
When I can squeeze it in, I would love to. I would love to just do that a lot. Um, I'm so into puppets. I'm huge Jim Henson. Everybody is.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I would love to do more of that stuff. And yeah, I have a bunch of half finished shit just laying around. I got like a head on my table right now and some couple noses,
Did you ever
stuffing.
watch? Did you ever watch Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think you'd enjoy it. It's like
Okay.
these. It's like two puppets, and then like sort of like a life-size puppet, and like they're stuck in this sort of weird world where it's always June 25th, and like uh,
Wow.
it's really crazy. It's like a 6-part series, and there's all
Is
sorts
this? I'm
of. It's on YouTube.
gonna check this out.
Yeah,
And they
I
like
think you'll
they all
enjoy it.
sort of start as if they're gonna be like kids shows, and then they like
Yeah,
very quickly turn into like some pretty upsetting visual and like sound. Yeah, those are great. I
I
forgot.
love that. I love that.
yeah,
Oh,
And the same like creative team did another one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it's something about things that are dangerous or things that can kill you, and it's like this house that just burns down over and over again, but it's all like felt art and puppets and like people
that,
in like morph suits of one color like pretending to be flames and stuff. It's crazy.
oh wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Tell me about that stuff. Like that's what I want to hear. Recommendations like that.
for sure. And
And
like you
it's
said,
kind
you were a
of like
fan of Pee Wee Herman, and like
Oh
that's
yeah.
the sort of in that vein, just a kind of cool world of like felt and like puppets and yeah.
Yeah.
what was the that show on MTV or MTV2 in like the early 2000s, Wonder Chosen?
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
That's
I
got
love that
some real
show.
good like
I
gross
think
funny puppets.
I feel like I watched it at the time and like kind of forgot about it. But yeah, yeah, that stuff is incredible. Love it. I love the idea of just like creating a different reality. You know what I mean? Um, like Pee Wee lived in Puppet Land, and it's like everything was so not consistent with each other. The puppets didn't look the same, and everything. It was so interesting to be there. And I love that kind of stuff. Where it's like you're gonna have to accept that this is where you are for a half an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys have you checked out much of Gary Panter's art? He's the guy who did all the set designs for Pee Wee Herman, but he's also like a cartoonist and
right.
painter, and he's incredible.
What's his last name?
Gary Panter, Panter. Yeah, he did all the set designs for Pee Wee's Herman, but he's got like a comic series called Jimbo, and did like, I think for a while he was doing like light shows and like old psychedelic light. He does all sorts of crazy art, but it's all very worth checking out.
I definitely am going to look into that. I'm really into Wayne White, and he did he worked on the Pee Wee set too.
Oh,
But
cool.
a documentary about him that came out a few years back, and I got to meet him. But he does a bunch of huge, giant scale, like cardboard puppets, and
Wild.
yeah, I think he carved a lot of Randy.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Gary Pan, yeah, I'm
That's so many crazy talented people came out of that, like Pee Wee's Herman, or worked on that. Like one of the dudes from Devo did most of the soundtracks for the first couple seasons, and there's like Rob Zombie was just like a stagehand and a stage manager. Yeah, like it's insane. Everybody who worked on that show.
Man, that's what I hear is Paul Rubens like has an eye for talent. He even I think he even got like Danny Elfman into the business somehow.
Cool.
I don't know. I watched so many documentaries. I'm here all day. But yeah, I think Paul Rubens just like goes around and is like, "Yep, that guy's gonna be good," and that guy. That is crazy. Rob Zombie, man, I love that. That's a huge art influence too in middle school. Man,
His movies
listening
and his music.
that shit, it's like, whoa, this guy's the best guy ever.
Yeah.
Brad.
Yeah, that like combination of like super campy horror and psychedelia, and then just like heavy metal is yeah, very
Such a good combo.
very appealing.
He's at the top of it's like he's at the top of the list for me in several genres, and he's just one dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. I got the nosebleeds, but when him and Marilyn Manson came through Portland a couple of years, I went and saw them, and yeah, it was awesome.
Was the show insane? Like it had crazy production?
Like I said, I was in the nosebleeds, but it was still fucking awesome. Like there was crazy shit going on, just like just coming out. I can't remember what song it was for, but like I remember Manson was like on some sort of giant staircase. He was like way bigger than everybody else, and then he had like the coat that went all the way down, and his head was tiny. His head looked. It was. Wow, it was crazy. And just watching Rob Zombie up there like hippie dancing around while he's singing is like, dude, this is, it was everything I wanted. It was cool. But yeah, man, yeah, those guys, both those guys, amazing. Love them.
Yeah, that's a hell of a concert. Really, you just need to throw like Alice Cooper up there, and you've got like the three like great like goth rock glam. Yeah, that's everybody you need.
Yeah, that's funny. Alice Cooper, Wayne's World. That's the Alice Cooper.
I wonder, do you when you're working, do you listen to podcasts or music or watch documentaries, or do you just like focus on your work?
I go through, I have to have something always, and I go through long phases. Like I was I think right now I'm kind of in between rewatching, because you can't, when you're doing art, you're not watching, a Game of Thrones, and then I'll have a Game of Thrones day one day, and then the next day I'll be catching up with my Busta Rhymes playlist, but like I went through like a 2-year period where it was like Radio Labs and TED Talks and just science podcasts. That's like my favorite genre. And I it was so long I listened to them that I got like burnt out on it. I was like, I can't hear about another fucking cell again. But now I'm kind of letting some of them back in.
That's nice, because you've got like a backlog now, right? Of like all sorts of unlistened ones.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You can go back. Oh, yeah, I got another 2 years.
I love the production on Radiolab, like how they do the like sound design and shit. It's like, wow.
I don't know if he does it now, but I think Jad Rod did all that stuff to begin with. But yeah, it is. It kind of it brings you in there, Yeah, totally. Good stuff.
Like really true to like the original art form of radio, I guess. Like, because there's that like, story of is it like Orson Welles, like did the like the invaders, and everyone was like, oh shit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, my favorite thing is to kind of, because it'll happen every episode, several times, is to listen for the steps. Like you can hear somebody walking up and then like open a door and shut it, and they're like, oh hey, as if they didn't plan it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, and if I wasn't really, if I didn't do a bunch of these, I'd be like, oh, that motherfucker just like walked in.
Yeah.
Like to imagine that's like a team of people recording the footsteps too. They've got like a microphone on like a little track.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I like to picture that too. Someone's just like, no, you got to wear these boots today.
Right. Like throw like a little gravel onto the walk so they're sure it's noisy enough for the approach or whatever.
No, not squeaky. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I love that. I love the podcast.
Yeah, that's yeah, thank you for being on ours too. That's
yeah, definitely.
That's the C.H.I.L.L podcast with Dustin and Alex.
I still haven't listened to the whole thing because I have a hard time listening to myself talk. Editing those Draw with Wes OKs has been kind of tough for me, and a reason why I make it look dumb. But like I did a episode with Kevin, Lifeform, like a few years back, and I still haven't listened to the whole thing because I'm just like, man, that guy's an idiot that he has on there right now. So.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to yourself back.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for the past like 6 years just through classes and stuff, because like I went to school for music performance, so like I'm sort of used to like recording myself and hearing myself back talking and playing on music, and like it still is hard sometimes. Like I hear myself and I'm like, what?
It's like I didn't know that I said that like that.
Yeah.
I gotta change that.
So I used to be really embarrassed when I'd see like videos of myself from like years ago, and I'd go, oh man, I was such a dumbass. But now it's like kind of reassuring, because it's like, well, at least I'm less of a dumbass than I was 6 years ago, or whatever.
Yeah.
I've moved a little bit past.
Right. That's a good point.
I might still be the goofiest person in the room, but at least I'm not as goofy as I would have been this many years ago. There's always
Yeah.
it could have been worse is just me from the past, but it's still
Yeah.
reassuring.
Yeah, it's a weird time travel. Bringing that stuff back into the mix. Yeah, I get it.
So
If I, it's like I'll see a picture of me from high school or something that I don't remember, or someone will send it to me on Facebook or something, and it'll be like, today I was there, and it's almost like a new thing to be embarrassed about. It's like I remember it at the time, like being embarrassed at the time. But I'm like, what was I doing right there, before and after that?
Yeah. Cool. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. If there's anything that you want to plug or any other thing that you want to say, feel free.
I think no. I mean, I'm working on a new. I don't usually do this, but I am working on a new merch drop, which
Mm.
you gotta drop it now. You drop them,
Yeah.
drop it all.
New drop.
Drop, draw your shit, put it on a shirt, you put it on a sweatshirt, put it on sweatpants, you get it, drop it.
So
You have to go radio silent for like a month too, and then just like come back
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm dropping something.
here it is.
So after you drop it, once it's on the table or ground, where can we and other folks go to pick it up? Is there
Well, you
a link?
pick that shit up yourself. I'm here to drop it. I'm not here to hold your hand through picking it up, man. Okay,
Fair enough.
link in bio.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's at Wooden Cyclops on Instagram, right?
Wooden, yes, on Instagram. Yes. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out how to link the shop to the Instagram like you have to do now.
Right.
So if you don't want to go to Instagram, it's wooden-cyclops.com. Not without the dash. That's some other dude.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I was doing research for this, I like read his bio and I was like, oh, like I was like coming up with questions for him until I realized I was like, oh wait, this is
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you read it. I don't want to. Yeah, we could just do different things. That's fine with me.
yeah. Yeah.
Seems like
I'm sensing a budding rivalry. This rich.
yeah. Well, I mean,
nice,
I'm not the only West in the world either. I can't. I mean, when I figure out how to get to all those guys, though, they're fucking.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Watch out if your name is Wes or Wooden Cyclops.
Run for the hills. Right on. Cool. Well, thank you guys for having me. It was fun, and I feel much better. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
And see you guys on the internets and
Yeah.
such.
Hell yeah.
Cool.